Hello, welcome to episode 22 of No Holds Barred Pod. That's Sal.
Two little ducks. Hello.
And I'm Don. We're back a bit late this week because of various things, which we might discuss later, we might not. But apologies if you're waiting for us on a Friday. We'll get this out tomorrow, which will be Saturday. It's currently Friday evening. Sal and I are having a relaxed...
Fuck it, Friday evening.
Yes, if you're
We've
watching
earned
us on the camera, cheers. We're actually having
Indeed, sláinte.
Sláinte, yeah. A little drink this evening whilst we record, which is a novelty. So, what have we got for this week, Sal?
Well, we don't have PMQs. And do you know what?
No, we don't.
I'm going to tell off everybody who's listening who knows me on Twitter. I'm very angry with you. Because all last week I was banging on about her. How's Kemi Bade not going to play next week? Not realising. No PMQs this week. And not one of you piped up and went, Sal, there's no PMQs. It's in recess. It's the equivalent of walking around with your skirt tucked into your knickers and not a one of you picked me up on it. So very upset about that.
Yeah, I include myself in that bracket of people, sorry.
I do now have a calendar of recess dates. And how dare anyone ever criticise teachers? Jesus Christ.
Tell me about it.
Wow.
I know.
What?
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
That's the subject for another time.
Well, yeah. They're back for a week and then they're off for, is it 4 weeks or 5 weeks they're off for now?
It's a month for conference season.
Month for conference, yeah. So, all right for some,
isn't it?
Some of them
you can think, well, that's practical, that makes pragmatic sense. What's the summer holidays all about, please? Because every other has to go to work.
Yes, very true. Yeah, especially... Nigel Farage didn't even come back. They came back for 2 weeks. He only came back for one of them, and then swanned off again. I don't know. He's been very quiet this week for reasons which we might touch on later.
You could start with that.
We could start with that if you like. But yeah, he's been very much out of the press this week. I think probably by design on his part. Because he's been
overshadowed, in fairness to the horrible man.
That's very true. I think the whole Trump visit has
by the person who didn't want to see him.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I can't remember who it was, wrote on Twitter this morning to say if Donald Trump could stop Sadiq Khan coming to the banquet, surely he could have insisted that his best mate Farage could have been there. So, yeah, we know.
Here's the thing about the king holding his own dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
He's in charge of the invite list.
I know.
Farage was never even in with a shout.
No, of course not. I know.
Jesus.
I saw someone put on Twitter, some reform guy on Twitter say, well, if Ed Davey got an invite, how come Nigel Farage hasn't got an invite?
How do they think? It's the same thing.
I know.
It's like they don't understand how politics works.
Isn't it just? I know. Yeah, the man who's
come on to later, anyway.
A professional politician for a very long time, like him or loathe him, and some of the things he's done in the past in the coalition. But he's managed to sort of garner 72 MPs in the House of Commons, and, you know, he's a powerful man.
Versus how many? Is it 4 or 5? I can't keep up. I really can't.
Well, they got a new one, didn't they?
5.
They nicked a Tory, so it's up to 5. Yeah.
Yeah, because McMurdoch's still on suspension for, was it COVID loan fraud?
That and also a racist pylon, which is now being investigated.
But that's come afterwards, and he's getting his arse correctly handed to him on that one.
It certainly is. What a fucking disgusting tweet that was. I'm not even going to...
It's a human adult.
I know. It's crazy.
I can't.
But did you see yesterday?
There's going to be a lot of that.
Yesterday or the day before, talking about that whole horrible thing that McMurdoch started, Kevin Hollinrake, the Tory MP, and Aaron Banks, one of Nigel Farage's many funders, let's say, started like trading blows using the N-word on Twitter yesterday. Both of them. Hollinrake put it in inverted commas, and Aaron Banks took the R off the end. But the pair of them, one a sitting MP, I'll put a link, I'll find it, but it's in my, I put a repost on Aaron Banks. I said, this isn't okay, you racist prick. This is just not right. You can't they're openly just using the N-word now.
This is the Boris effect.
Yeah.
You make impropriety acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Human nature proves all we're going to do is snowball that.
Yeah, totally. And that's what's being weaponized by people like Tommy Robinson and stuff like that, isn't it? Because they know they can get this social media side of it going, and now people just feel like it's okay to be openly fucking racist, and it just isn't. I
swear to God.
I reported that tweet of Aaron Banks's, and within less than a minute, it said, "We've not found a violation in our rules." It's like he used the N-word. Like, I thought that used to be an instant ban from Twitter. Used to be. Not anymore.
Well, we're being suffocated by the most evil people that's, you know,
you're absolutely right.
Been allowed to come together in our lifetimes. It's insane.
There's a tweet I was going to mention later, but it seems appropriate right now, and it's from a lady called Melanie D'Arrigo, I think how you would pronounce it, and she's the head of the campaign for New York Health. She's an American campaigner and LGBTQ campaigner and stuff as well. And she just put a tweet out this afternoon, yesterday, sorry, that Trump's allies now control X, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and TikTok. They own Fox News, CBS, The Washington Post, The Wall Street Journal, and The New York Post. They own Sinclair Broadcasting, which has 200 TV stations and local news. Freedom of speech is what Trump and his billionaire pals say what it is. That's it. Whatever they say is freedom of speech is just what they want to hear. And you get shut down if it's not.
Well, speaking of free speech, it might be a nice segue into the Led by Donkeys fiasco this week.
Oh, yeah.
For anybody who hasn't seen it, Led by Donkeys pulled another blinder and projected film and photographs of Epstein, Trump, and sweaty Prince Andy onto Windsor Castle this week, and 4 of them were arrested under the Malicious Communications Act. Now, not technically speech. Is that shutting down free speech? Who were they harming? There was no fraudulence. There was no misdirection. They embarrassed the royal family, who should be embarrassed and should be packing their bags, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But they were exercising their right to free speech, surely?
Apparently so. But again...
And the thing is, if you don't want people to do that shit to you, don't be evil in the first place.
Yeah, stop being a dickhead. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I know, it's mad. I mean, as you say, what harm were they doing to anybody? Nothing. Literally sticking up a projector and beaming some light onto a wall, and that's all they did. And and they got nicked for it. But yeah, it's a bit of a dark time, I think, at the moment.
Wait till they get prescribed.
What, by donkeys?
Oh, well,
I suppose.
Well, if we're going to prescribe people for painting things, then perhaps.
Yeah, I know.
Which brings us to, didn't you mention you wanted to talk about Kimmel?
Yeah, I'm a big American comedy fan. I always have been. I love American comedy. I prefer it, I think, to most British comedy, and that's just the way I've been for my whole life. I mean, there's hits and misses with everything, but I've rewatched American Office, I think, maybe 15 times from start to finish. And I like watching SNL, Saturday Night Live. It's one of my favourite things to watch. And
I used to love watching that.
Yeah, John Oliver, obviously British, but doing his American thing. But he's one of my faves, and Jon Stewart. And then the other guys, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and Jimmy Fallon are great as well, and Seth Meyers. And so this week we found out that Jimmy Kimmel mentioned the death of Charlie Kirk on his show, and he didn't really say anything bad. He basically just said,
at all?
No. I'm going to put a clip in. Well, I'll put the link to it if I can't put the clip in because of, regulations and sort of copyright, but I'll definitely put a link to it. What he said was...
One second while you're doing that.
Yeah.
I want to show you.
Who's that? Oh, John Oliver, Funko. Oh, fantastic. That's awesome. Oh, I love it. Yeah. 3 Funkos. I got 2 up
Will's
here.
got hundreds of them. He collects them.
I think, because you've mentioned it, I have to just... My son will be absolutely thrilled that I've done this, because this was my Father's Day present from him.
Oh.
Darth Vader saying, "I am your father," and Luke saying, "No."
How did you read that, Bob?
That's exactly. I wasn't sure quite how to take it, but
Thanks,
I think his heart was in the right place because he knows I like Star Wars. I think
he's got a sense of humour.
Yeah. Anyway, from Funko Pops to Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, he basically said that the shooter was one of their own, that he was a right wing, he was a bit of a MAGA, and that the
Which I
stuff
think is
about
what was
him,
being reported at the time.
Yes, it was being reported at the time. He was reporting, as he knew it on that day, the truth of the matter. And Trump got him shut down. Trump somehow managed to get him pulled off the air indefinitely.
It's there's some sort of media merger acquisition going on, isn't there? With, is it, who did Kimmel
Disney.
work for? Paramount. Disney.
ABC,
And
which I think is owned by Disney. Yeah.
They need because they have, and I've learnt this from watching Ballers.
Oh yeah.
So it might not be accurate. But each state has like commissioners who award licenses and stuff to like sports people.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
What have you. But they have to go in front of the commission and prove whatever it is they have to prove. And they have to get the say-so of the commissioner that works for the government. So if they don't get rid of Kimmel and they want this acquisition to go through, those two things are incompatible. It's all horrendous. It's all about obscene, psychopathic greed. All of it.
As always. Yeah.
But apparently...
Yeah, it was...
sorry, I didn't want to... Go on.
No, I was just reading. It was the Trump-appointed head of the Federal Communication Commission that threatened to pull ABC's broadcast license if they didn't take Kimmel off. I just read that bit. Sorry. Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm getting overexcited. I'll shut up now.
No, it's fine. That was it. Yeah.
It's just... chips.
No, it's fine. I don't know. We've just got the right of politics who have always been crying about free speech and how everything should be about free speech are suddenly the ones cancelling everybody and, you know, shutting down free speech left, right and centre.
Oh, that's why it's... sorry, Cat. We're in the second podcast. We seem to be in some sort of downward spiral of doom. And the cat's just completely taken my thread away from my brain. Where are we going with that? Nobody knows.
It'll come back, hopefully.
Well,
yeah, but it's fascist, right? It's just fascism. This is just another tick box.
Pure. Yeah. How dare one man decide who gets to speak and who doesn't? That's not how the world works.
But I just
might be how his world works. But
yeah, exactly.
That's what delusion people do.
There was a lot of questions when Trump did his press conference with Starmer about free speech, as always, and it's just he kept saying, "Oh, we're proud. We've got free speech. We're always proud of our free speech in this country." But then, like you said, they've nicked the Led by Donkeys guys for putting up some light on a wall. Is that free speech? No, not really. And then you've got people like Alison Pearson and Toby Young going on about hate crime, non-hate crime incidents, constantly rabbiting on about it. But then if it happened to someone on the left, they'd be absolutely like doing laps around the park, like with glee, because they can't focus on a single point on their sort of objectives. It is literally everything we like is great. Everything else can get in the bin, and we're in a terrible state at the moment. Terrible, terrible state.
But there are also people who perpetually display unbelievably ironclad minds of, I know everything I need to know and that's okay and therefore I'm right. And that's not how, things get done or people grow and learn. That's just...
Very true.
being obstinate and entitled in many cases, certainly with them too. I wanted to say words. After last week,
can I just say one thing on that? Because it's just something that's I think it's important, and I talked to you about it in the week as well. I reposted a video from Peter McCormack in the week. Peter McCormack, if you don't know, is a more right-leaning podcaster. He's very popular. He's got a lot of subscribers, but he and I have been chatting a lot behind the scenes, and potentially, hopefully, we're going to get him on as a guest here, and I'm going to go on his as well. Because although he's right-wing and right-leaning, he's quite a reasonable person. And when I reposted his video in the week, I got a lot of stick from people saying, oh, how could you sort of agree with him? But what he said was quite reasonable about it. This is about the Tommy Robinson March, which we'll come back to later. But I think it's really important that people on both sides of the fence can come together and discuss things equitably without shouting at each other, without the social media barrier being in the middle where everyone just calls each other horrible names. And I think, I'm hoping, Peter and I have been chatting, messaging each other, and he's a reasonable man. And I think he and I and Sal, when we chat, will be able to have a really good discussion, be it left and right or whatever. I think there's a lot of anger and hatred in politics that I think needs to be extracted. And I think the only way that will happen, and this is why I put my tweet out about the other day that got stick from, is by talking to people on the other side of the fence who are reasonable and willing to chat, because then that's the only way we're going to get rid of this middle ground of hatred that's going on at the moment.
That's exactly what I was trying to do last year with Billy Moore when I bumped into his pal at the riots, who turned out to be from the other side, and we were both like, and we ended up having a really good discussion.
Yeah.
And he actually rang Billy while I was there and said, look, I just met this woman, blah, blah, blah. And we were going to get together, and they just stopped getting back to me. So I sort of left it, and he's carried on doing his podding as he does, his vlogging. But the fact that you and Peter are interacting, Peter's got his big platform and he's still open to talking to us, means he gives a shit. And finding people like that on the right are so few and far between, certainly in my experience. And I do, contrary to what somebody said to me the other day, I do get out there and I do meet people and talk to them from all walks of life. Not very often, but I do. Because I genuinely think if we can have reasonable discourse with somebody who knows what they're talking about, which is part of the problem. And I get it, because I've only been able to learn what I've learned because I've not been able to do anything else apart from sit in bed for a very long time. So I've made a point of going out and learning about the things I didn't understand, because understanding is half the problem. It really is. This week I had horrible interaction online, which did actually bother me a bit, and it normally doesn't, because normally it's coming from strangers. But this time I screenshot a tweet Tan did, and it was dead simple. It was just something along the lines of, if everybody at these protests isn't far right and it's just, a small minority, maybe apply that same logic to asylum seekers. That was it. I thought it was a very good point, well made. For both sides of the coin. And somebody who I knew like 30 years ago and haven't had anything to do with really since, so he doesn't know me, I don't know him anymore because people change and grow, came at me under the post and just started giving it, you don't know what you're talking about, you're living with your head in the clouds, you're this, you're that, you should be spending time with your family, get off the internet and stop arguing with people. Hang on, lad, you dropped into this post.
You're
What's
under
your
my
point?
picture.
What don't you agree with? You don't know what you're talking about. Give me a ring. Spend one day doing what I do, then you'll see. You do house removals. How much of the world do you see doing house removals? You've clearly done some work with immigrant people and you've got an issue with it. But that's probably because you're a small to medium business that you run because when you left school, your dad handed it to you.
Fair enough.
Now, he must have replied about 4 times, every single time, having a go at me as a person, not about the topic.
Yeah.
And at no point did I find out what his bone of contention was. It was unbelievable. But these are the people. When I was very poorly and beat down, I used to get that all the time. And it was part of what made me ill, I think. Because I started believing it. I really did think I was this terrible person. I was that. Because so many people... And I'd be like, all I've done is highlight something factual. Why is that on me? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's this toxic environment that has been fostered by the culture war, and it's spreading. He doesn't even... I don't even think he knows exactly why he's particularly angry or why he's taking it out on me, which is why I can now delineate between what I need to go, oh, do I need to think about that? And why I go, oh, get fucked.
No, yeah, exactly.
Which is now what I do. But it's horrible when it's someone you know.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? Like, Twitter's my safe space. It's fucking mad.
Yeah, one of my good friends, his brother, who I knew a bit from the olden days, has gone very reform, and it's a very odd because, you know, his brother that I'm friends with. Well, I'm friends with both of them, and it was his 50th birthday, and we went to meet up in London, and the brother didn't show up because apparently he mentioned me as a podcaster, and maybe was a bit worried that he might be attacked as a reform fan. It's like, look,
you see,
this is the problem.
They're projecting their behaviours onto you.
Exactly.
That's how they do it.
That's it.
Every false accusation is a confession.
And this is what I go at great lengths to on Twitter to point out to people, that I will have a discussion with anybody as long as they're polite and respectful.
Yeah.
And I will be the same, and I always am. I'm very rarely rude to people online because I don't think it achieves very much. And so I will ask people for their opinions, but it will end up in the same situation as you've just demonstrated with your person you knew. There's no argument, and it just turns into them attacking you, and you're like,
yeah,
I thought we were going to have a discussion here, but no.
At one point, I actually said to him, "Why are you just insulting me? You're not telling me why you're upset. Why are you just insulting me? How do you think I'm insulting you?" What?
But it's a lost cause at that point, isn't it? You can't then pull that back. And so I think that's why, and we've said this from the beginning, that we're not doing this as a lefty podcast in sort of solution to the right, and all that. Yes, we might have some more left-leaning views than lots of people, but we're not doing it in that, through that lens, and that we're open to talk. We've always said from day one, haven't we? Anyone who's from reform, we'll happily chat to. And like now, Peter, hopefully we can get him involved, and he's on the right side of politics. We are open to discussion with sensible, normal people who won't attack us. And
the trouble is, I think, because I'm having a bit of a rough one the last few weeks, I'm just not on my best form. I put a tweet out asking for people to give me suggestions for what I wanted to talk about this week. And thank you to those who got back to me. Somebody was talking about politics being more nuanced, and I'm sure I mentioned it before, but I think the world is becoming completely nuanced because of the age of technology. And I think that something we all need to keep in mind, in fact, I meant to do a PSA for Phil and I forgot. Something we all need to keep in mind, and Phil over at a different bias did released a video on YouTube earlier about looking after your mental health while following politics, because it's very difficult, and it was bizarre because everything he described, I was like, oh, that's been my entire life and still is. But I can't get away from it. But for those of people who can, it's a great video to go and watch. But I think what we also need to take into account is having some perspective on how this culture war political landscape is utterly unprecedented. There's no historical examples to go back and look at and go, oh, well, when they made the printing press. Similar, very similar, but obviously with all the information and the new research and the capability for fraudulent and all the rest of it, the data is incalculable, I'd probably say, that we've created and that gets created by the day. And we all need to just sit back, for those of us who can't extricate themselves because they're like living in it. Give yourself a break. No one in the history of man has been through this shit before. And I hate making predictions because I never want them to be right. But we have got a human behaviour problem over and above everything else. And this is driven by greed, by capitalism, by unfettered capitalism. If we could put a lid on it and say you get to be a billionaire and then you stop, things would change. Until then, I don't know what the route is, but we need to look after our own brains. That much I do know. So go see Phil, because he also gives he gives some very good advice, actually.
Yeah, we'll stick a link in for that in the show notes, definitely.
Yeah, so I just want to say that. I can't remember how it was related to what you were talking about. Oh, dear.
That's everything we do, though. We just bounce from one thing to the next. I think that's why people like us. I think that's why people... Yeah, that's better. But people like listening to us talk because we don't have a format, I think, necessarily. I mean, we have loose format points, but we don't really... we don't note take and sort of have a script, do we? It's also... We just sit down every week and have a few points we want to go over, but... I think it's a nice way to be. I'd just like to be able to
link back to what I was talking about so I can be a competent human being, but unfortunately, that's not in the dealings at the minute. However, do you know what? I'm going to break out the good news story early.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because I went to the GP today and it was brilliant. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But he was amazing. He was a young fella, Asian, lovely, and did everything I needed. And even gave me some whizzy new medication, which I have researched, and apparently it's like the next best thing is sleep medication. It's called daridorexant. If anyone's tried it, let me know in the comments. I don't know what I'm in for. But just the hope of sleeping for the first time in a decade. Bloody lovely. Imagine what this would do if I could sleep.
I know.
I'd know where I was up to and everything.
I'd be sacked. You'd be just doing it on your own.
Behave yourself. I might be able to type some things.
Yeah, just as you were saying that about data, I just Googled, well, no, I didn't Google it, I super grokked it. Do you want to know what the daily data volume for social media on its own generates? It's hard to get a frame of reference.
If you did that, it would make me want to go and... It would frighten me.
500 million terabytes of data every day, new data.
The beauty of being tech stupid is that I don't know what any of that means.
That means...
and I'm good with that.
That equates to about 2.7% of the total of the world's daily data creation. So if you put everything in the world together that every computer produces, social media produces about 3% of that, which is huge. It's huge. 182 exabytes per data annually, which is just, I can kind of compute those numbers, to excuse my pun, but it's just enormous.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it? Literally, ironically.
It is. Yeah, literally, right. and figuratively.
Which brings us smoothly on to £150 billion worth of investment from America. And where's that investment going? It's going to Palantir, BlackRock, and Tesla Energy, who are currently poisoning people in America with the very same facilities they want to build here.
Yep. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk again. But yeah, it's true.
Huh?
It's Peter Thiel and Elon Musk again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because you've got a better brain than what I do. Either, it seems to me, and I don't like binary thinking, but it does seem to be that either they've completely sold us out, or I've forgotten what the other option was. Oh my God, what's wrong with my brain?
Is that half a cider you've had?
No, it's only kiddie booze.
Yeah.
Oh God, I've made this. It's not the first time I made this point. Now I can't remember it. He sold us out, or that's it.
Mm.
He sold us out, or it's a massive national security threat.
Or both. Yeah. I had a thought about this the other day.
Is there anything else?
No. I had a thought about this when with all this was coming out about the amount of money that Trump was bringing with him, and then it all turned out to be, Peter Thiel and tech and AI and all that stuff. And it occurred to me that maybe Keir Starmer is banking on that to boost, to get the economy back on its legs again.
At what cost? Jesus Christ!
At any cost, I think is what my thought, and I think that's his. Maybe this has just went through my head the other day that he's realised finally that everything's going terribly. Let's not be shy about saying how bad things are going. But it occurred to me the other day, I think that maybe he's banking on this amount of money, this investment, to give them, when the budget comes in November, a boost to the economy and to the spending that they can put forward. And I just wondered, at any cost, I don't think the cost part is factored into the equation whatsoever. I think he's just, that's it. He knows he's got one shot.
I don't mean financial cost.
No, I know. But to us, I mean, yeah, you're right. He doesn't give a monkey's how it impacts the countries. But financially, if he's got one shot to rescue the economy in the budget. And if it fucks up in November with the budget, then all bets are off, I'd say. But I think that's what Reform want.
To me, this is not intellectual behaviour. Politics isn't intellectual behaviour, granted.
Well, yeah.
I think we can all say that now. It fucking should be.
It should be.
But it isn't, because all the players are unserious neoliberal psychopaths.
But yeah, exactly. So,
but going back to Peter, if somehow, because what really upsets me at the minute is you've got the left and you've got the right. All right, sorry, you've got the left who've been campaigning against austerity for a very long time, and then you've got 12 months worth of angry people from the right-hand side. Admittedly, there'll be some stayards that have been to Tommy's protest for years and years, but they're a different kettle of fish. Yeah. I don't think they're particularly important in this equation. And we all have the same wants for the ends. We all want the same. We all want to not have to live in poverty with a functioning country. That's it for a lot of people. They want to be able to live comfortably on the wage that they earn reasonably. Yeah. That's not a big ask. It shouldn't be.
Exactly.
And then that gets me wondering. No, I won't go there because that's a bigger topic for another time. But
no. Okay.
One of the best places for quality of life is Israel. Go figure. So I don't, if we could stop this, I don't think half the people currently considered on the right give a fuck about left or right. They just want to stop living in so much pain and stress. But they happen to have sided with the right because that's what am I trying to say? That's more their demographic that they exist in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. It's weird though. When I was growing up in Scotland, and we were council estate family, and the demographic then. No, but what I'm saying
myself. I'm not pointing at people like that.
Yeah, no, how it's changed is all I'm going to say. Is like that. Back then, it was if you couldn't vote anyone apart from Labour, because Labour were the party for the working people, the people that lived in the council estates, the lower earners. That's what I grew up with, and that's why I always voted Labour my whole life until recently. And that's, as you say, this neoliberal thing has come along and wished that around in a circle, almost. I don't know, but now they're siding with the right instead of the left. That's all my point is, that the people that used to be where I grew up are now going with Reform rather than Labour, where it used to be in the 70s and 80s.
But, there is a massive, I can't remember the phrase I need now. Jesus.
What I can do in the edit is put little caption bubbles in after. Put a little thinking but dot
Sal's
bubbles.
brain just ain't working today. I should have had some medication before I came on. That might have helped.
Yeah.
No, there's a massive gap in the market on the left. If only somebody could fill that void. Has anybody found any adults that don't behave like clowns? No, still
one.
no. Righto.
Maybe one. Maybe Zach Polanski, perhaps.
Yeah, sorry, Zach. That's fair dues. I'm just that angry this week.
But yeah, I think maybe what Sal's alluding to is the clown show that is your party, because
it fucking ain't my party. Certainly not right now.
No, I know. They've just gone from calamity to calamity.
And Zara Sultana owes me 25 quid.
Yeah, she owes a lot of people a lot of money, according to
Although, to be fair, today. I do blame the wording from Corbyn on that, because he made it sound like people had been scammed and they hadn't. I know there's legalities to follow and all that, but the way they've done it is so unbelievably petulant.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I've ever felt like, right, get me a seat at that table. I've had enough of this shit.
Yeah.
Because it is like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? We haven't got time for this shit. People have been suffering for 15 years. We've got fascism literally on our doorsteps. And you think, do you know what? If you've got a problem with somebody, pick the phone up and talk to them about it.
I know. Yep. It's been a calamity of errors.
But I'm livid.
Yeah. I think you and an awful lot of people are livid on the left who thought.
Could you outline what's actually happened? Sorry, we didn't mention it.
Okay, I know you've got. I've got a bit of it. Well, I didn't write anything down. I haven't written anything down for this week's episode because I've not been feeling too hot this week.
No, I just meant what she posted. Or he.
Yeah, I'm just finding it now. So, there it is. Well, first of all, it was an urgent message to all UK party supporters from Jeremy Corbyn. And it was talking about an unauthorised email that was sent to all yourparty.uk supporters with details of a supposed membership portal hosted under a new domain name. They went on to say that legal advice is being taken. This email should be ignored by all supporters. And if any direct debits have been set up, they should immediately be cancelled. So then it goes on to say about the agreed process was announced between himself and the other alliance of MPs and Jeremy Corbyn, Corbyn and Sultana. And then earlier this week, we shared new details about the roadmap to the launch, including our plans for mass assemblies. And then a list of the names, and it was Jeremy Corbyn, Ayub Khan, Adnan Hussain, Iqbal Mohammed, and Shokat Adam.
Which didn't look great in the optics.
Exactly. They left off Zara Sultana, which led to a lot of people going, she's been kicked out, she's been done this, that, and the other.
Well, she'd just previously accused them of misogyny and said that's why she'd done it, because she felt sidelined. It wasn't her choice. It wasn't her decision to make. That's kind of the point.
No. I think she came out after that and said that she was saying that she'd been subjected to a sexist boys club. Yeah, that was her response to basically that letter. And then she said,
I thought she mentioned it before.
Well, it's unclear, but the statement she put out after that letter said that after being sidelined by the MPs named in today's statement and effectively frozen out of all official accounts, I took the steps of launching a membership portal so that supporters could continue to engage and organise. This was in line with the roadmap set out to members. This is a safe, secure, legitimate portal for the party. Everyone who supports her should sign up now. So she was still punting out that portal on the afternoon of, what day was it? It was 18th. Yesterday this all happened, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And then a very long statement, which I won't go into.
You think she really would have learned from the last episode?
I know. It's just so unprofessional, the whole thing. And she said, I regret that today's statement has misrepresented the situation. My actions have been consistent with our shared commitment to build an open, democratic and member-led organisation. I will continue to fight for a process where members, money, data and voices are safeguarded, not centralised under the control of one individual. Corbyn, obviously.
Nobody ever said one individual was taking control. The whole point, it was supposed to be a democratic party.
But it just feels like they've fallen out, doesn't it? They've just, her and Corbyn have just had a...
It smacks of, she's 10 years too young at best. Which is a shame because she's had an incredible career, especially for her age. And she's literally shot herself in the foot twice in the same year. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I appreciate she's chomping at the bit. We all are. But you still have to get your ducks in a row. You can't just have a false start and leave everyone behind. Dickhead.
Yeah, and all it's done is just left the pair of them and the whole kind of setup open to attack, because they just look wildly unprofessional, and it's left Corbyn open to the old attacks that he's always used to have, that he's the star of the show and he won't let anyone else take part, which is what the things he used to get. And so now the right and all the media jumped on that again, and Corbyn's trying to just be a one-man band again, but with all these other people around him, and Zara Sultana doesn't. No, I don't think he is, but that's what he's left.
People are projecting it onto him.
Yeah,
Loads
of
people talking about your party, talk about Corbyn's party, or Corbyn's going to lead it. Corbyn said nothing.
No, that's it. That's what I mean, and that's what this has left him open to, these sort of renewed attacks of that kind of vein. Whereas I don't think, I agree with you, I don't think that's the case in this situation. I think Sultana's just jumped the gun, been foolish, and kind of, I don't know what's in it. We'll find out probably at some point, but it just...
There's usually fault on both sides, isn't there? But
I'm sure there is.
Fuck me. It's not.
I think they both, in my opinion, they should just back down and go and speak with Zach Polanski and get something sorted out, because Polanski's already said he'd like to talk to them. So
the Greens are organised already, aren't they? So that would be the easiest solution for all of them.
Exactly. They needed one
and
banner
then, and then
thing,
Sultana came out. I don't know if I should have remembered and I completely forgotten until right now. They announced yesterday that Sultana had put in, is it an emergency motion in the Commons?
Oh yeah, she did.
To talk about, she went after Shaukat Adam, because he's a landlord, isn't he?
Landlord.
And she doesn't want MPs to be able to be landlords.
That's right,
literally within a minute, well no, not literally, like an hour or two after they put out the statement against it. It's kids. It's kids, man. You're dealing with child psychologies here.
Yeah, it was a 10-minute rule bill or something, wasn't it, about preventing MPs from being landlords? Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, but it was literally a fuck you to him. Even I could read that, and I'm not like, I don't avidly follow them. I just see what pops up.
Yeah, it was a very pointed attack. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. If they can't sort it out within the next couple of weeks over conference season, then they're going to have to back down, and the sensible move will be to go and sit down with Zach Polanski. Whether that will happen.
Do you know what's even more stupid? It's just occurred to me.
Yeah,
something we're having to learn slowly because it's not in our nature. I actually said yesterday, I think probably on Twitter, if it was down to me, I'd have the pair of them doing a joint press conference telling everyone that they're going to resolve the differences, everything's going to be fine, this is what we're doing. We pulled all the stops out to do it right here, right now, and we are united and everything, in solidarity with everybody.
With their
more
ears
than
being
that,
pulled by
more than the fact that they didn't even think to do that or couldn't do it or wouldn't do it, think of the content they could have got out of doing that.
Yeah, I know.
That's literally Reform's playbook. They show it to you every day and you are just too busy being angry with somebody else.
I know. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. They could have really done something with that PR-wise, couldn't they?
Stinks.
But no.
It fucking stinks of children with no parenting.
I've just seen it. I've just put on my screen I've got X, and live currently Turn Left Media is hosting a space saying, is Zara Sultana facing legal action from Corbyn's team?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Not really, no.
I mean, if that's... No, unlikely, but, you know, it's headlines like that, though.
Administratively. Oh, still can't say it. Administratively.
Wasn't that me that couldn't
that
say
kind
it a
of
couple
trouble.
Weeks ago? Yeah. Yeah, but it's the headlines. And, you know, you open Twitter and it's saying that on Twitter now. And you're like, the bad PR that they've ended up with, when, as you rightly say, they could have ended up with some spectacular PR if they just sort of backed down and thought about it for 10 minutes. But now you go on and it's like talking about Corbyn suing Sultana, which is probably never going to happen, but that's what our headlines now showing on Twitter.
It's not going to be Jeremy Corbyn personally, is it? She didn't personally do anything to him. Jesus Christ.
But, yeah, it's a bit of a mess. Let's say that for a sum up, I reckon. Oh, fuck. Stupid Twitter. Sorry, I'll
stupid lefties off my notes then.
Yeah, take that off. I've just noticed that Twitter...
we slag everybody off when they're stupid and naughty and evil. We don't care where you come from.
No partisanship when it comes to dickheads. If you're a dickhead, you're going to get it in the neck. Yeah, I've just noticed every week I have a folder on X where I put, it's called No Holds Barred Saves. And so when I find something interesting I want to talk about or look at, I'll just stick it in that folder. And I've had it open because I know where everything is in it. And X/Twitter and its infinite wisdom has just basically shuffled my bookmarks like a pack of cards. So I'm now seeing they're no longer a date order.
Helpful.
So I've got something from today, then the 2nd of September, then August, and then September, and then July, and then August again. So all my notes are all out of bloody kilter now as well.
Bless you.
Yeah, let's see what happens. But I don't hold up much hope from what we've seen so far, unfortunately, for the new Corbyn Sultana venture. Where do you want to go to next?
Do a little public interest bit here. I've got one more thing I want to talk about, but it's a bit heavy. So can we just do a little public interest thing where I can pick your brain?
Mm-hmm.
I had the misfortune to have to do a supermarket shop today.
Yeah.
And I try not to do them very often because, you know, I hate big corp and that. And food. So it works out quite well most weeks.
Fair enough.
But I had to go to the Asda. The Asda, obviously. We're in Liverpool. No, we're not. God, what are we talking about? Anyway, went there. Fannied about with the app. Started scanning my shopping. Put a new app up. My scanned shopping disappeared. So I thought, oh, well, that was helpful. So I went to the trolley and scanned it. Gets my rewards thing up. Log into the bloody thing because I really need security on the rewards app.
Yeah.
What is that? There were no rewards. And there weren't last time I went either, which was maybe a month ago. And I thought, that seems queer.
Yeah.
Because I zapped it. And also not collecting anything when I zap it. And I thought, what could this all be about? So I thought, I know. I'm in a good mood. I'm being nice to people. I go to customer services.
Yeah.
So I said to the girl, I said, look, I'm not very good at tech and that. And she said, well, that makes two of us. And I thought, oh, that promotes confidence.
Good start. Yeah.
Yeah. She was lovely. And I just said, can you tell me what the point of this is? Because there's no offers to be had unless I sign up to a 29.7 APR credit card.
Oh, yeah.
No thanks.
No.
Even if they'd have me. And so I showed it to her. She said, oh, it's not like mine. So she brought hers up and she's got a little cash pot on hers. I don't get that on mine. So she said, oh, go and have a look on the Play Store, see if you need to update it. I thought, oh, you might have a point there because that sometimes catches me unawares. Pops over to the Play Store. No, the app's all fine, up to date. So I'm like, so if I'm scanning this every time I'm shopping and getting nothing back for the privilege, don't we call that data harvesting?
Yeah, it is. I'm just looking now.
So I asked Asda on Twitter, as you do, and they said, DM us. And I went, no, you can see what I'm cross about. You can talk to me now.
Yeah.
And I tagged in the Information Commissioner because, you know, it's egregious that they take the piss already, but that's just
I'm just downloading my Asda. I have my iPhone and I have all my cards in the wallet, you know, like, so I have 657 shop cards. So I don't tend to have the app anymore, but I'm just downloading the Asda app just to see, because we have got a rewards account. And I'm not sure. I'll tell you in a minute when it loads what ours says.
It's absolutely pointless other than for them to keep track of data.
Yeah.
And it's not.
I thought I'm going to maybe be wrong on this, but I think Asda at one point were giving money to schools. So I thought when we were spending money in Asda...
I haven't seen the little green tokens. I've not seen that for ages.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if you can see because of stupid light. You probably can't.
No, I can see
anyway,
it. Yeah,
there's no cash pot on it. There's no rewards. Just says boost your rewards with an Asda Money credit card.
Yeah, of course.
No,
yeah, so you that.
Fuck off. It's just a nonsense. There's no product offers. There's nothing on it. So, it's another thing that I've highlighted. I probably won't chase up because there's too much on, but that's how they get away with it. Oh.
Just logging into mine just to see. Out of curiosity. Oh, God. Go away. 6,000 different things. Oh, no, they've sent a phone. Oh, no. Text. Never mind. We'll get that at some point. Anyway, yeah, that's odd.
But, I just thought, no.
Yeah, it's a bit shady, isn't it? Sounds a bit data harvesty. Definitely.
I won't give customer details because I think they're worth more than one free coffee. Like anyone gives a shit, but
Yeah.
Got to fight back now.
Do you know what? We've done an hour or so and we haven't even talked about reform yet. That's impressive. I like that.
We're doing another two-parter, kid?
Might be. Let's see how it ends up. But
yeah,
we haven't even talked about reform or Nigel Farage once in the first hour.
Oh, we have.
Have we?
Yeah, we talked about Mr. Ethical before.
No, we haven't. Not on this episode. No, that was before the pod, before we started recording.
Oh. Nice one. Hope you enjoyed that, listeners. Special episode just for you.
Yeah, a pre-pod chat I don't tend to put out. We could get it on Patreon or something.
Oh, no, well, yeah, but my brain can't remember.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that then?
Well, I've got two things.
There's all sorts of shit flying about today.
There is. I've got two things I wanted to talk about. One is reform and Nigel Farage, and one is Tommy Robinson and his march last weekend. Which let me just talk about that really briefly, because it's interesting, and I think it's something that I wrote a bit of a long post about it. Actually, I put it on my Substack as well. But he was trying really hard to gaslight the entire country, and he's been at it all week, and he's still doing it today, telling the world that there was 3 million people on the streets of London last weekend, when most reports conservatively had it at like 100,000, 120, 30 maybe. But actually, I've seen a lot of experts in the field say it was only around 70,000. Now, it's still a lot of people, whatever. And probably the biggest far-right march that we've seen on the streets of London since Mosley, maybe? I don't know. But the fact that he's still... And what I noticed about this was he had someone go onto Wikipedia and add his protest to the very top of the Wikipedia table in the list of biggest turnouts for protests in the country. And he kept saying this is the biggest protest that Britain's ever seen. He put it out over and over and over again. And I kept saying that's just not true. You
can't manifest backwards.
Well, this is the point, and he's trying to gaslight everyone. And so people are like picking this up, going, there was 3 million people on the streets. It's like, there wasn't. They're just to see. And I wrote a post and I put some pictures of the Stop the War March in 2003, because that was the biggest protest that the country's ever seen. Mm-hmm. And there was between 1 and 2 million estimated at that. And it was fucking massive. And I put some pictures in my article from the Imperial War Museum website, because it's got lots of pictures. And you can see the picture of Hyde Park specifically, where there's just people as far as the eye could see. And that's what 2 million people looks like. And he's claiming he had more plus 1 million on top of that. Whereas we know for a fact it's a lie, but he's keep pushing it, and he's still pushing it, and all his fanatics are still pushing out. Go on.
What? 2 questions.
Mm.
Because I haven't given it any thought, so I don't know. Why is he doing it, and why does it matter?
He's doing it because he's creating this narrative of the state. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, so
Now,
it's
Google
kind
the
of
answers to my questions.
I think it's just I'm reading my article that I wrote because it was a few days ago. No, I think he's trying to push the state against the people, and I think he's just trying to create a wedge between what the state tells you is a lie and what I tell you is the truth, you know, and people are falling for it. Not 3
Binary
million
thinking
people,
is a danger.
correct, exactly. So he's like, don't believe your eyes. There was definitely 3 million people there. No, there wasn't. But what I tell you is the truth. What the state tells you is a lie. And it's another kind of sideways punt at fascism of like controlling the narrative of the media. But it's just a test, I think. I don't know. He's trying to convince people just to sort of stop believing in their own eyes, you know? We can see that what he says is a lie, but he's repeating it enough times. Is it Goebbels or Himmler, you know?
No.
Keep repeating the lie.
Close. Very close. She genuinely told me when I was little that my dad used to psychologically bully her, and he actually did. And she genuinely said to me, if somebody tells you something enough times, you'll start to believe it.
That's it.
And then she did it to me as a teenager. It was fucking baffling.
Yeah. It's gaslighting.
That's what these toxic people do. And right at the bottom of their toxicity is the biggest, like, they're so insecure in and of themselves. That's what is right at the bottom of all of this shit. Apart from his supersonic greed, but that's, you know.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
They're just not well.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into what happened at the march because it was a stage full of really, really nasty people.
Oh, terrible.
Some horrible racists.
Hate preachers, actual hate preachers.
Yeah, actual hate preachers. Yeah.
I mean,
that Maori guy.
For a Maori tribe to come to Britain after Britain colonised them and killed lots of them, and then stand on a stage screaming that we should have the right to free speech, except Muslims and Islam. They're banned, but apart from that, free speech for everyone.
I know. But that's what we said at the beginning, isn't it? The far right want free speech for themselves, but no one else. And
but
then
they're so
the other
stupid.
woman,
Do they not? Do they know what they're doing? It's the Occam's razor thing, isn't it?
I think they know. But did you see Valentina Gomez as well? She was the...
Who the fuck is she? And who the fuck does she think she is? Jesus Christ. Mental.
I'm just quickly scrolling because she went after Bushra on Twitter the other day, and she was just out and out Islamophobic racist to her.
She is a woman who's shitting herself that ICE are going to turn up on her doorstep. That's the impression I got from her.
Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm going to read this, much as I hate to read it because it's disgusting, but I'm going to read it because it's important. So this is the woman that stood up on Saturday at Tommy Robinson's rally, Valentina Gomez, and she said, "We will end Islam in America and Europe. Keir Starmer is the biggest paedophile protector in history.
What?
Wait a minute. All those rapist Muslims can go back to any one of the 57 Muslim nations." That was her tweet that she put out.
Where does she live?
She's American. She's from America.
Yeah.
She's
Tell me more about paedophiles and rapists and criminals. I saw that, and I saw a woman desperately trying to prove herself to not be an immigrant. That's what I saw.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Now, Bushra, is it Sheikh? Is that how you say her surname? I'm sorry. Yeah, Bushra Sheikh. replied to her and put, "Fuck off out of our country, you nasty, hateful, vile woman. We don't want scum like you polluting our nation."
Accurate.
Strong language, but that's fair.
Yeah.
Now, the reply is the one that is just grim. So she said, Valentina Gomez, in reply to Bushra, "Silence, woman. You're a dirty Pakistani Muslim. I didn't give you permission to speak or take off your smelly hijab." That was the reply. And it's on Twitter now. You can look at it.
Well, only somebody with a Messiah complex would do that, so
It's
fuck off.
just out and out disgusting racism that's openly allowed.
See,
now.
These are the people I would love to meet in human person. Because there's nothing I say on Twitter I wouldn't say to someone's face. That's one of my filters. If I wouldn't say it to someone's face, I don't type it. They don't work like that. They shit bricks because they are weak people.
It's just gross. It's so just disgusting. And like, this is where I'm going to have a chat with Peter McCormack about, because he said, he was uncomfortable with some of the speakers, but that's not something to be uncomfortable about. That's something to be disgusted by, and it should be taken away from this country. I remember going on an anti-Nazi league.
There's nuance. We're disgusted. He's perturbed.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the levels. I remember going on an anti-Nazi league march when I was at uni, so like 1993 or something. And this is what we were shouting about back then, but it was the white skinhead dickheads back then that were saying stuff like this. Now you've got a brown woman from America in front of a crowd of people on the streets of London saying stuff like this.
An American immigrant in London trying to tell everyone that immigrants are the problem. Can anyone see an issue here?
I know, it's crazy. Absolutely
Fuck
crazy.
Off, you utter moron.
Yeah. And then when you look at her bio on Twitter, the first thing she says is, "Jesus is king."
How dare you? They're charlatans. It's literally a shield for evil.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is. It's evil. Because I'm not religious in any way whatsoever, but I know Christian people don't believe the shit that she's come out with, because that's not Christian. That's just fucking evil.
Which segues quite nicely into Charlie Kirk, because the last episode we did was when it happened, live when we were recording.
Live.
And I genuinely worried for a couple of days that my response was entirely heartless. And it was, and it should be, because he was an evil man then, and that doesn't change just because he's no longer with us. And I thought, well, people might think you're being a bit stern, a bit mean. And then I was on Twitter and I saw a video of his wife. Now, I said, which was the bit I was worried about, I guarantee you now, if he survives, the first thing he'll do is monetize it. If he doesn't survive, the first thing they will do is monetize it. And I thought, that's a fucking horrible thing to say. Within 48 hours, Charlie Kirk's wife had threatened vengeance and taken a video of herself stroking what is supposed to be a Charlie Kirk's corpse in a coffin. Who the fuck does that? More than that, a professional entered the conversation who said, I understand how autopsies and shipping bodies and stuff work. And for another thing, that's a silicone body.
Really?
It wasn't even him.
Oh shit, I missed that bit of the conversation.
It was.
But yeah.
Right.
A mannequin.
On everything I am worth and I own, this is the most disturbing thing I've ever encountered in my fucking life. What they've done.
Oh, it's weird. It's horrible.
They've got a crowdfunder up to raise $100,000 for a multi-millionaire who's worth $100 million. Last I heard, Charlie Kirk. And they want to bring God into the conversation.
No.
Do you know what God did to the money lenders? The Bible is full. This is the irony. This absolute diehard Christian The Bible is littered with stories of what happens to dickheads.
Mm-hmm.
If you self-idolize, it's just full of stories about don't be a dickhead because this will happen. Full of them everywhere. And he's such a massive Christian, he paid attention to none of them.
Yeah.
And carried on putting himself in harm's way and deliberately inciting harm. We've got a parasite problem, and they're psychopaths, and we need to deal with it. But nobody cares about psychopaths, and I don't understand why.
I know. No, I mean, it's exactly as you describe. And now that Charlie Kirk's wife has been announced as the new leader of Turning Point USA as well. So,
shut up.
I know they brought her out yesterday and put her on a stage. She's the new figurehead of Turning Point USA. Less than a week
she's
after.
Going to wreak vengeance.
Exactly. It's just, I struggle for words to describe how sick and dangerous, and it's like, it goes back to what you said before, the amount of data and things that are happening. We've never been through stuff like this before. It goes right back to that, where brain can't process what's actually going on some of the times. And that is one of them, that they've turned around in a week, this guy being shot, which I said, and I have said all along, I don't want anyone to die for politics or their beliefs, but being shot to now being a saint effectively, and his wife taking over, and then the money-making machine just turning on and on and on, as if nothing happened now. He's basically got pictures of him playing. Did you see the AI picture of him playing guitar in heaven with supposedly
Freddie Mercury?
Freddie Mercury, Brian May, who's not dead, and some other guy in the background who also looked like Brian May.
Do you know what, though? I'm getting really upset because I find it so terrifying. This doesn't end up in a good place. Horrible. These people can't stop until they're stopped. It's the whole, the thing I say about when I'm on Twitter, it's not who I am, it's what I do. If somebody's going to come at me, I can double down on you. It's not what I want to do. It's not who I am, but I'll do it to prove a point. I reflect what you're doing back at you harder. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And until people do it to these people, nothing will change, except, do you know what? I need to find that quote on my phone from Jim Stewartson. I've been farming it out for years because it's the best way anyone's ever put this. So can you just fill in for about 30 seconds, please?
Yeah, sure.
Say stuff.
Yeah. This is how Nazism started. That's what I'm going to say to this. Because like you said, they can't stop doing what they're doing now. They're in a position
not until somebody bigger and more horrible comes along,
which is what happened in World War II, and this is what happened when Hitler and the Nazis got to sort of late 1930s, and then when they invaded Czechoslovakia and nothing really happened, and they annexed Austria and nothing really happened, and then suddenly they just got the taste for it, and they knew that they were going to be difficult to stop. So they just carried on, and it took 6 years for them to be stopped by, effectively, America, of all fucking people. Now they're the ones. Yeah, exactly. Now they're the ones who are in the situation where we're frightened of what they're doing, because who the fuck's going to stop America? I don't know, because Trump's backing all of this. It's
not just America. It's at the top of every structure of power.
Well, yeah.
That's worth any fucking money. I found the quote.
Go on.
It's Jim Stewartson, who's on Twitter. He's brilliant. American guy. Underregulated capitalism has allowed a strain of raging psychopathy to take control of key sectors of our way of life, including business and politics. At the root of this dynamic is the fact that our system rewards people who don't care about others because they have an array of options that people with empathy don't have. It's hard to be competitive when your competition is willing to do shit you would never be willing to do. So the people who are willing usually win. This applies equally to business and politics. In this way, we sort all the high-functioning sociopaths and psychopaths to the top of the pyramid and reward them lavishly for it. And once they get there, those people who want to surround themselves with people who have no interest in empathy either. So they replace anyone who won't behave like a sociopath with someone who will.
Yeah.
And that is the root of all of our problems. We need to take the human brain fucking seriously.
Yeah, I've not heard that before. But that's nailed on. That's absolutely nailed on.
It's probably the thing I've tweeted the most since I've been on there. I
don't know why.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, but it's nailed on. So, yeah, we're in a dark place with everywhere, as you say, but I think specifically we've got to be wary of everything that's coming out of America at the moment because it's fucking twisted.
I don't think we're going to have an option now because BlackRock and Palantir.
Yeah, if Starmer sold us out to the...
Do you know what really makes me fucking angry? Is that if we had a digital ID system and everything was like married up digitally, the world could run really well. The trouble we've got is that the people who are going to control all of that information for huge, obscene amounts of money are entirely untrustworthy.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck are we doing? Why don't we do it like pharma? Like you have like government departments for tech, and then they copy what they're doing. Yeah. Except we pay peanuts, so we don't get the best brains. It's so bad. It's all so backwards.
Yeah, I know. It's quite scary. It is very, very dark.
There's got to be ways and means out of it.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Die Hard 4?
Oh, shut up.
No, seriously. Seriously. I think
so all I can do is remember the first one.
No, Die Hard 4 is a weird one. It's about this thing they call
Die Hard 4. Are you really that bored?
No, I've watched it about 10 times. I like Die Hard. Anyway,
is it the one with Patsy Kensit?
No, she's not in Die Hard.
Is that a completely different series?
Yeah, no, I don't know what you're thinking of. Anyway, in the
Danny
fourth
Glover.
Die Hard me. No, that's Lethal Weapon. Yeah, no, that's
close.
Oh yeah, Patsy Kensit is in the third one of Lethal. Yeah, she's in Lethal Weapon 3, I think. Anyway, Die Hard 4. This is relevant to what we're talking about. Believe it or not. Now you got me thinking about Patsy Kensit. I'm going to end up talking about bloody Simple Minds next.
It's nice to laugh.
Die Hard 4. The whole premise of that movie is about this thing they call a fire sale, and it's about a group of hackers.
Motherfucker. Sorry, go on.
A group of hackers.
That was the right film, though.
Shutting down the water supply, the electricity supply, and basically the essential supplies to, I think it's DC or New York, whichever, and how that's going to impact it. But that's what's going to be required, I reckon, at some point. I'm not advocating for this, but a fire sale is when everything's reset back to zero, but when everything's gone and then you start again. Because
that's what we need to do with the economy.
Yeah, but with everything, with tech, with I don't know,
laws, parliament, political procedure. You're right, though. We need a complete reset. We're living in arcane. We're living in super modern times with arcane systems.
Yeah,
it's never gonna.
No, it doesn't dovetail, does it? We're going to end up either having to have Die Hard 4 or what's the other movie that I was thinking of the other day?
I don't
know, some dystopian thing where tech fails completely in the world, goes back to like the Dark Ages.
That's like sometimes like you start to go to sleep at night. Hey, do you know what might happen? Maybe Elon's going to set up these Tesla energy factories everywhere, and they're going to drain everywhere of so much energy that it's going to take everybody offline.
Yeah, maybe.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
It would be, deliciously ironic.
I mean, nothing's off the table, is it? The way things are going, it's. You go on to your Farage bit. Can I just ask people to like, share, and subscribe? You can press the little thumbs up button right now. Take 2 seconds, and it really, really helps us out. So, thank you. Now, has Nigel Farage got a gin business done?
Wow, that's the big $24 million question. That's not the right thing at all, is it? What's it called? The $6 million question.
It's the £885,000 question.
Yeah, that was one of the questions, definitely. Yeah, so as you may or may not know, myself and some others on Twitter have been doing a bit of digging on Nigel Farage, Mr. Ethical, of course, and Reform Party UK, I suppose, who do it day in and day out. The Bear's been chipping in and doing bits, although he's been a bit quiet for various reasons the last couple of weeks.
He's busy, isn't he?
He is. And yeah. So we found out about the house stuff last week and how it belonged to his partner, Law Ferrari, and that she bought it for, as you say, just shy of 900 grand in cash. The lady who has been, her company, Baxter Loire, was the trading name. No, Farage Gin was the trading name of Baxter Loire. So she's been heading up his gin company since 2023, I think. Yep.
Has anybody seen an actual bottle?
Yes, I've got a picture of the bottle.
And a real human?
Well, no, not that I can find. So,
sorry, what I meant was for somebody being able to go and buy one from a counter somewhere.
No.
Oh,
I'll come on to that in a bit, but I'm going to plug my Substack as well because I've started writing my articles on Substack now because it's good for writing on. Anyway, I'll plug it properly at the end. But so I've done an article about Farage and his gin company. I won't go into the whole detail of it. Suffice to say that his partner, Law Ferrari, was once a European far-right politician, funded by Steve Bannon. So there's a big red flag from the off.
Small world.
Yeah, isn't it just? She used to have a company called LF Consultancy Services Limited, which was a management consultancy. She didn't really turn over any money. She just kind of owed a bit of money here and there, and it went up and down over a 4-year period.
I could run a management consultancy that successfully.
Yeah, absolutely. Not much happened, really, as far as I can tell, from Company's House, apart from 4 years in a row, 2015, 16, 17, and 18. She changed her date of birth on the Company's House records, which I found odd.
Weird.
Yeah, slightly. I mean, did you get it wrong 4 years in a row? But who knows? Anyway, the other thing is she changed her address.
Was it 4 separate dates of birth? It wasn't just she changed it once and then changed it. She changed it 4 times, didn't she?
Yeah, 4 times. Yeah, 4 times. Every year.
Mental.
4 years in a row.
She got a year younger.
Yeah. So, but it's blanked out on Company's House, so you can't see what she changed it from and to. So, but she definitely changed it 4 years in a row, which is kind of a red flag, I'd say. Then the other thing is she changed her company address 7 times over the course of 10 years, which seems quite a lot. Like, I've moved around a bit in my life, but that does seem excessive for a business. But anyway, nothing illegal. I'm not suggesting there's anything illegal about that at all. It might be perfectly
very odd.
legal.
Why would you need to?
She might have just got bored and changed her address. I don't know. But anyway, one of her addresses, however, I found in the Panama Papers leaks. So there was a big leak of offshore businesses and linked to British companies a few years ago.
Misha and Dorea were in there when Starmer was working for them, weren't they?
They certainly were, and Tony Blair's in it. Zelensky, lots of different people. But anyway, it's an interesting database that you can search for free online, and you can just put in names, postcodes, and see if anything pops up. But one of her addresses that she previously had her business registered under in Chelsea is flagged in the Panama Papers as an offshore company shell address. So I'm going to write an article about that at some point. And also Mr. Ethical's on top of that as well in a big way. So, coming to her gin company, it was 2022. They changed LF Consulting to Baxter Loire, which is a weird name, but I think it's because Nigel Farage's dog is called Baxter Loire, but I'm not sure. I don't speak French, so anyway. But this was the Farage Gin then became the trading name of Baxter Loire Limited. And they changed their Company's House designation from management consultancy to wholesale of wine, beer, spirits, and other alcohol beverages, because they now sell gin, apparently. Now, at that time as well, they also changed the registered address of the of LF Consulting to what I found out is an accountant's firm in Essex in Leigh-on-Sea called Buckley Watson. And on a bit of digging, it looks like there is 57,125 businesses registered at that same address, including Farage Gin.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, isn't it? It's something I said in my article, is that it's a busy place and one in which a small business could easily be lost.
Forever.
Yeah. So Law Ferrari is the sole owner and shareholder of Farage Gin. It was going to be struck off this year. Company's House decided they were going to strike it off and wipe it off because she owed about 11 grand, but nothing was happening. And then coincidentally, at the time that we were all talking about the house that she bought, it was the decision to dissolve the company was suddenly reversed on September the 9th last week. Yeah.
Incredible
So Farage
timing.
Gin, I know, isn't it? Farage Gin is still now very much active again on Company's House, although still not turning over any money.
Or producing any actual gin.
Well, there's
What's
pictures
the bloody
of bottles.
point, to be honest?
Yeah, I mean, there's pictures of bottles of gin, and it took a while, but nobody would stick their hands in the air and say they were the ones that were manufacturing the gin. This was a couple of years ago. Then it turned out there's a couple called George and Angie Mould, M-A-L-D-E, who have a company called Cornish Rock Gin, and they say
they're worth tapping up them.
They say they met Farage and Ferrari. That's just too nice an alliteration, isn't it? Farage and Ferrari, when they were all staying at the Camelot Castle Hotel, which is in Tintagel in Devon. Now, if you don't know what the Camelot Castle is, it's owned by a person called John Mappin. Now,
Sorry, just on behalf of anyone who's ever been near Chorley, we're having a good snigger because Camelot, what used to exist as a theme park, is now.
Oh, the old Camelot theme
where
park.
explorers go. It's very dead.
Yeah.
It's like, it looks like something off Call of Duty.
I've seen the photo. There's like urban photographers that go into these places.
Oh, it's
and
devastating.
I've seen that.
It wasn't brilliant when we were little, but now it's just horrifying. Sorry, go on.
Did you go to it?
To the nice one.
No, fine. Well, is it? It's a big hotel, and I've seen it. I've been to Tintagel. I know exactly what the hotel is, and it's owned by this guy called John Mappin. John Mappin, I've got an article in research phase at the moment. It became well known, shall we say, in COVID times because he refused to close his hotel down during COVID. He's a massive, massive anti-vaxxer, and he's connected to QAnon and Turning Point, which is interesting. Actually,
I thought they were two opposing things.
Not on the far right. I don't think there are opposing things. Turning Point. John Mappin set up Turning Point in the UK. He was the founder of Turning Point UK. So he got his directions from Charlie Kirk, adjacent people in America, who was people like Candace Owens, who's now gone very strange as well. That's a story for another time. But
there's so much nuance kicking in. This is why everything's splintering. Nuance back to whoever mentioned that on Twitter. Well done, because it's the absolute root of everything.
Yeah. I'll come back to John Mappin in future episodes because, as I said, I've got some research and I'm going to write a proper article about him because he's a very interesting guy. Not in a good way, but he is interesting. Anyway, this is where Farage and Ferrari met the Moulds, who own Cornish Rock Gin, and they decided suddenly that they were going to start a gin company, Farage Gin. So it appeared on Nigel Farage's personal website as Farage Gin link. You could click on it, and then there was pictures of the bottles and hampers and things you could buy. Now, as you said earlier, I've not found any evidence of anybody that's bought any of this gin. It was supposedly for wholesale to pubs and bars, but again, I can't find any trace of it anywhere apart from using the Wayback Machine to look on Nigel Farage's website. And then I found Farage Gin on Instagram. Go on, were you going to say something?
I was just going to suggest probably your best port of call to find evidence of Farage Gin ever actually being produced is if you go onto Nazi Nan's profile on Twitter and do a search just for gin. Because if there's been one available to buy, there'll be a photo of her with a bottle. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you might be right. So,
and if there isn't, it doesn't exist. Because it doesn't.
I never thought of that. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I'll have a look at that. But anyway, so Farage Gin had an Instagram page which opened on the 12th of March 2023 and then stopped posting on the 3rd of May 2023. So like a month. No, sorry, a 2-month period. I know. He posted 28 pictures of him with his dog and bottles of gin and pictures of
not
gin.
Not the gin, because that's not available.
And then I noticed,
Sorry.
I went on it a couple of times because I was looking at the pictures to see if there's anything interesting, and I didn't notice anything particularly. But then suddenly it says underneath, and it wasn't a new thing, I just hadn't noticed it, but it says this Instagram page has now been memorialized, which is a feature that Meta offer to Facebook and Instagram people who've passed away, which is a bit odd.
I mean, when you something that's never been alive cannot die.
Oh, yeah. So if you click on Farage Gin on Instagram, it actually says, you can click on a nice little picture and it comes up with a little rose and it says, remembering Farage Gin. It says, this account has been memorialized, a place to remember and celebrate someone's life after they've passed away.
Can you comment on it?
No, not anymore.
Oh.
But that's an interesting kind of metaphor, I thought, for his gin career. Anyway, basically that was it. Farage Gin kind of had a social media campaign for 2 months, some woolly records on company's house, and that's it.
They filed accounts?
Yeah, well, yeah. They turned over...
So what was this?
But 11, nothing. What? They're in debt. They're in debt by 11 grand.
What?
That was it.
Assuming it's a scam, let's just say, hypothetically, it's a scam. What is the benefit to them of running this scam?
Unclear. So I don't know yet. I don't know if it was just a bravado kind of thing from Farage. He just suddenly got these couple of bottles made up and went, we're going to flog it, or whether they actually sold any. Because if they sold any to anybody, this is the last part of my article and sort of mini investigation, is that I can't find any trace of them having a license to sell alcohol. And people point, yeah, or Farage, or Farage Gin, or Law Ferrari. So I said those 4 entities, and I searched on the Southend on Sea City Council website, because you can look for people with premises license or personal license, which you need to sell alcohol to the public. And lots of people said to me on Twitter, oh, but they registered as a wholesale business. And I said, yeah, they did. You're right. But they were selling it on his website. So they were selling to the public, which meant they need a personal license and a premises license. If they don't have that to sell to the members of the public, then it's illegal. So this is the bit I think is a thread that could be pulled at, I think. And I searched on Tendring District Council, which is the house address that I'm not going to dox them, but I know where they live, or I know where the house is. I've got the address. So I searched on that address as well. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, thought maybe they're selling from home, but no, still no personal license or premises license popped up. So it just looks to me as though they never held any license, because you can look historically, it's not just current, it's historic as well. And there's no record of Law Ferrari, Nigel Farage, Farage Gin.
Can you read that?
Yeah. For those of you not
just
watching.
Saying.
It says
that's proof.
No results for June Slater
June
Gin.
Slater has not once mentioned gin, so there we go.
So, yeah. So, I don't know. I can't prove that they didn't have a license yet, but it looks like I have.
Oh,
so
come
far.
on. We've literally just done as much as you're ever going to find.
Yeah. They don't. And it's little things like this, It's the Al Capone of the situation of these people that will be their downfall, of the little bits of things that they were supposed to do and overlooked. But to sell alcohol to the public, if they ever sold any, which according to Companies House they did sell several thousands worth of pounds, it's illegal.
You see, this brings us full circle, because I swear it might be wrong on both accounts. but I think it was yesterday, and I think it was Pam Bondi, that I heard wanging on about how, I can't remember who they were talking about, but somebody asked her, certainly a Republican, about RICO. It was about these legal gangs in America that ICE are sweeping up that don't exist.
Yeah.
And she basically said, it's not just criminals that get arrested under RICO. We can use RICO to arrest anybody. I thought, well, that sounds helpful. Excellent. That's not what it's for, but thanks for saying it out loud.
Yeah. I know.
So yeah.
Anyway. So that was my investigation so far on Farage Gin. And I think it stinks, to be honest. Not the gin, because nobody really knows what it smells like. Because I don't think it existed. But yeah. I'm going to keep pushing on it. And one last thing is, like, I think we talked about last week, Mr. Ethical and another account called One Finance Guy, and they're both really hammering this hard, and they think they found some bits and bobs on top of the Guardian piece this morning that says that Nick Candy, and there's some questions over donations that were made to Reform, that they weren't made in one go, they were made in several tranches, and there's some highly suspicious activity. So keep watching, keep tuning into this, and also have a look at my Substack, which I'm just
follow Mr. Ethical and the Finance Guy as well, because they've done such great work on this.
Absolutely. I'll put links to both of them, and my Substack's Don McGowan 333. So have a look at that as well, please. It's free. Just drop your email in.
332 other Don McGowans.
No, it's just I signed up to Substack.
That'd be terrifying.
I signed up to Substack years ago with my actual name and got Don McGowan, and then forgot the password. And I've been trying to get them to tell me what the password is for years, but they won't tell me. So I had to pick a number, and 333 is like a number that's recurred in my life a lot. So I picked that.
Half the devil.
I know,
cool.
half a devil. But anyway, Don McGowan 333. It's Playground Politics with Don McGowan, I've called it. So just go and have a look and chuck your email in. It's free. And I'll send you some emails with some interesting stuff. Today's one was about tinnitus and skateboarding. So,
oh, bless you. At the same time? Is it a distraction?
No, I got tinnitus because of skateboarding. That's when my tinnitus came on as a result of a catastrophic failure in skateboarding and broken ankle in 3 places. So yeah. It was. I think it's a trauma response.
For the benefit of the viewers and listeners, Don, how old were you when this accident happened?
48.
Some people, not me. Some people might suggest it's a bit Darwinian.
Yeah. Read my article about it. It tells you all about my
oh, bless you. Nobody should have to go through what you're suffering, but that is funny.
Yeah. I know it is funny, but I wrote about it yesterday because, as you know, I was in a horrible state yesterday with my ear, and I just frantically typed out this article about tinnitus and skateboarding. So, yeah, it's an interesting one, and you'll find out how I managed to break my ankle in 3 places by pulling off an amazing skateboarding maneuver. So I was trying not to piss herself in case you're not watching. Yeah. So, anyway.
I'm not being cruel. I'm being kind. I'm being nice.
I deserve everything I got. Let's put it that way. Apart from the tinnitus.
You can take the girl out of the rugby club, I'm afraid.
Yeah, fair enough. Right. So, also on my Substack, if you are not listening to us on your normal podcast apps, you can listen to all our episodes on my Substack as well. It's a new feature that Substack do. So I've added all the podcast episodes. So it's another stream to our podcast bow. String, not stream.
Who knows?
So yeah.
Still can.
So yeah, cool. Right, enough self-promotion from me. That's me done on everything I could think of this week.
I am almost done, except I had one thought today. I probably had several, but I had one important thought that
One you've remembered.
chimed. Well, yes, I remembered it. That's always
Yeah.
a benefit. Obviously, with the Tommy rally and Trump coming over, it's all been playing on my mind, as it always does, to be honest, like great questions of our time. And one of the things that I don't generally throw at people, much as I'm tempted, but because it's a personal issue to me, I'm not going to project it onto anyone. But I've never, for the life of me, truly been able to understand why. Whilst I believe that, as we mentioned earlier, the right and the left that are screaming and shouting for change and improvement all want the same ends. We're just coming from different places and there's a different middle bit, but we all essentially want the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
But for all the protests that have been available to them about their issues of not earning enough, not making money stretch, things being 4 times more expensive than they were 5 years ago, none of them seem to give a shit about that, or, disabled people being killed off by the thousands. And it's always been a head scratcher for me. Homeless people are increasing in number. It is obvious to anyone who goes outside and sees the change in society in town centres and what have you. But they aren't there, and they weren't there until the billionaire newspaper owners dog whistled them to go, oh, immigrants, they're getting stuff you're not.
Yeah.
They're getting things you haven't got. I mean, they're not really, but let's pretend they are. And now you're angry and you want to go and shout at people, and you choose hotels to go and shout at, which baffles me, because at the bottom of everybody's issues, I could go and pick off any crowd, any person, and the root of their deep anger and misery is going to be their own life conditions.
Yeah.
Because it is.
100%.
And they don't know what to do with that anger because they don't understand how to contact their MP, which is a thing. It's how we're supposed to do it. They're protesting off the backs of people having been arrested and follow judicial process. Do we do that now for everyone who gets arrested? Or
Yeah.
So what I came to today was the thought that maybe these... And as I mentioned earlier, the person I was talking about, I know he's not a racist. We have mutual coloured friends, from various places in the world. So I know he might be I prefer, some black and brown people are acceptable, others aren't. The can be better not thing, if you will.
Yeah.
Even though he's a white man, but you know what I'm saying. But it suddenly occurred to me today, having lived a life of shame, largely based on the fact I had no self-worth because I was always poor, and that was how I was brought up to believe you got your self-worth by being wealthy. Don't think it's all that uncommon in many ways now.
No.
But I now wonder if the people that we're calling the right, who are just angry people who couldn't give a fuck about politics and couldn't even tell you what a socialist is, maybe they're just deeply ashamed of being poor. So it's easier to get angry about brown people than it is about not doing as well in your life as you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to go and shout about that is to hold my hand up and go, I'm struggling, I'm suffering. And they can't cope with that level of vulnerability. Because everyone goes outside and puts on a pretense, don't they, when they leave the house, to some extent.
Yeah, we do. We all do. Yeah, it's a really interesting point and a really interesting thought because, yeah, you're probably absolutely dead on with it. I don't know.
Great pod.
Sorry?
Great pod.
Yeah, discuss this in the comments below because this will go on for a long time. But no, it's very true. And as I said before, like having grown up in a kind of poverty, was it poverty? I don't know, but very close to poverty if it wasn't. When I was a kid, living in Scotland on the council estate. Loved it.
Hand-me-downs, beans on toast.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, all that. But I don't say that in terms of like being derogatory about it, because I'm not in that place now, which I get called out for a lot on Twitter. Called out's the wrong word. I get accused of that. And
Living with
that's
your
not
head in the clouds, are you, Don?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the back to the, oh, you live in the Cotswolds, so you don't understand me kind of argument, which is bullshit. I've been through an awful lot in my life, and I don't, I'll talk about it with anyone, but I'm not going to bore you about it now because I already have. But
You're not boring, love.
Thank you. There's definitely that stigma of failed aspiration. Is that what the right term is? Of wanting to have been in a certain point in your life and not have made it to that point in your life. And I think that what you've said highlights that perfectly, and it brings it back to like the people like Tommy Robinson and others on that sort of far right understand that, I think, far better than a lot of us. And you've got it spot on, I think. But they knew that, I think, before we did, which is unfortunate. Yeah. But I think now that we realize,
I was too busy being ashamed of being poor to ever be able to talk about it for
there you
decades.
go, exactly. That's it. Yeah, no, I think I was in the same boat. It was just a thing. It was just, that was how we grew up, and
you do everything to pretend you're not until you're not.
Yeah, yeah. I remember going to school and all the kids having, you know, the new trainers, and we'd been to, at that point, I remember living in Hampshire, and the people who live in that area will know something called Blackbush Market, and you get the knockoff kind of coats and the knockoff jeans, and that's where we went to get my clothes. We didn't go to the whatever was, you know, in the early 90s, late 80s. But yeah, it is that there is definitely this sort of feeling of shame that you can't present as others around you are presenting, and that's very sad. But
and worse than that, do you know what? Just, oh God, I feel like I'm doing a therapy session. I'm not, but just it's reminded me that on the occasions I go out and dare to treat myself to something ragingly ridiculous, like a new top from Next or something, because I was working for a living, I'd come home and my mum would go mental because I dared to spend so much money. Why can't you go to Ethel Austin's? What's wrong with you?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Because because these people, and my mum is exactly the psychological type we're talking about.
Yeah.
Didn't realise that her brain was a muscle she could go and exercise, and just decided to stay there.
Yeah.
Drinking. If somebody else has got something they want and they can't get it, you're done for. That, that's it.
Yeah.
And then that top would soon get swiped out of my bedroom, and I wouldn't see it again. She'd be wearing it down the pub.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It's a narcissistic personality type.
Oh yeah, that's totally that. Yeah. Wow, that's really tough. Yeah.
But when you live in that environment where it's drilled into you that you're not worthy, you don't deserve, you grow up thinking you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mine was slightly different in that we couldn't afford to buy the posh clothes or whatever, but my mum would sort of try and tell us that it didn't matter, which it doesn't in real terms. Of course it doesn't. No. But that would be her way of pushing it on us. And, you know, at the time you don't understand, you're a kid, you don't know what's right. All you know is that you're going to school with a pair of shoes with holes in, and everyone else has got new Adidas trainers or whatever. But so it's difficult at that point. And I think that what you've just said about the political side of it and the people that are marching and putting flags up is the culmination of that, where they've been told
it's toxic shame.
You should be at a point, but you're not at that point. Yeah, you're right. I think it's absolutely
dead on. And worse than that, but I suppose it falls into what I've just said, but worse than that, again, with something we talk about all the time, which is the data we're having thrown at us that our brains aren't coping with. You're literally getting 25% of that data you intake, at least, I reckon, is marketing directly targeted at your specific fucking brain.
Yeah.
And if you can't afford that product that's being showed to you, how are you supposed to feel about that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times I say a week, I can't wait to be wealthy enough to not have to watch adverts. Point in case. Point, that's what I meant.
Case in point, yeah. No, you're right.
You know?
Exactly
and
right.
people just sit there watching these things on repeat, and you get in the cars. Look at the life this person's living. Look at what they're doing. Why aren't you doing that? Oh, you're not working hard enough. Try not having Netflix. Eat for 30p.
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah,
It's
I was
only
chatting to a friend of the pod, Dr. Rachel Morris, in the week. We had a chat. Yeah. And we were talking about TikTok and, you know, the worthiness of TikTok.
I'm still scared of it.
But if that's what I said to Rachel, because she was wondering about going on it. And I said, you know, we've done it with the pod. But every time I open TikTok now, I get Nigel Farage's face immediately. But
I just get noise. It frightens me.
But it's that instant. It's exactly what you just said. It's that instantaneous thing about people selling crap or trying to sell crap, and the young
Look
kids
what you could have if you were better.
Yeah, but these
don't you get up at 4
kids,
o'clock in the morning and eat a cucumber?
Yeah, exactly. And these young women who look incredible, but they're like, you must look like this, and you're like, but it's all the same stuff, isn't it? It's just bombarding your brain.
And it crucifies people.
It's shit that you think you should be aspiring to, but in reality, it means nothing. If you could step back and go, oh, this is vacuous bullshit, maybe things would settle down a bit, but they can't. And it's being ramped up, as you just said, it's being fired into your eyeballs every second of every day. And some people haven't got the processing power to be able to realize that it's just...
There needs to be some sort of global summit to figure out how to castrate the tech bros.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be behind that.
It's not going to end well.
No. But it's shame, and it's exactly what you just said. It's just people feeling a sense of
I'm angry,
shame.
But I can't scream about not having enough money, so I scream about being a racist. Oh, It's a payoff, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. It's very, very sad. Because I said on Twitter...
It's criminal. It's the people driving it, the governments and the establishment.
Yeah.
They are.
There's very, very, very smart people behind the scenes that have worked this shit out 10 years ago and realised what they can do by manipulating people's brains with data.
50, I'd say. Since the end of the Nazis, when the Americans took all their playbooks and research, I'd say.
Yeah, but quite possibly. Yeah.
It's just ticked along with different iterations.
But the internet's just put it on rocket boosters, hasn't it? And
but I mean more governmental study into human psychology for purposes of manipulating the population.
Oh, totally. Without a doubt.
Which, 5 years ago would have had you called a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, it would have done. No, it would have.
But then when you look into marketing and advertising, are you telling me they do not hire the best psychologists and human behaviour specialists in the world to maximise their profits? Of course they fucking do.
Obviously.
Just like the governments do.
Why do you think IKEA is laid out the way it is? Yeah, I mean, it's...
Don't knock IKEA, man.
Oh, no, I love IKEA.
Ziploc bags.
I'm literally surrounded by every single...
I want to go live in Sweden.
Everything in my office is IKEA. I'm just checking. Apart from my guitars and my record player and my stereo, all the furniture's IKEA.
If we have any listeners from Ghana or Scandinavia, I'm open to marriage. Just saying. Just putting it out there.
But yeah,
I've highlighted
right.
those places as my best chance of having the best life.
Why Ghana?
Apparently the Ghanaian weather really agrees with me. So.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's interesting. Is it quite temperate?
Warmer than Scandinavia. Yeah. Probably quite dry.
I've been to Scandinavia. It's fucking freezing. But yeah, it's lovely, but it's very, very cold. Yeah, I went to visit my uncle before he died. He used to live in Stockholm, and we went there in February once, and it was minus 26 or something crazy. But,
God.
Lovely place, though.
Minus 6 in Russia, I think. That was as low as I've been.
Yeah. There was like 10-foot snowdrifts in Stockholm, but everything was still running.
Jesus.
But they were just...
it's not like here, is it?
No, they were at the side of the road. You could still walk on the pavement, but there was just a big snowdrift above you. But yeah. How have we got onto fucking Stockholm? Back.
Stockholm syndrome. Full circle.
Well, that's a whole nother. This could go on for about 4 hours now.
No, I've just brought it full circle by mentioning Stockholm syndrome.
Ah, yeah, fair enough. I like it. I don't know what.
It's amazing the links we can make.
I know. And amazingly bring them back sometimes. Yeah. Right.
Now I'm depressed again.
Has it gone full circle again? Yeah.
Anyway.
What time is it? 9:30. Yeah. So, I think I've got nothing else left for this evening.
I think we've exhausted everybody, including ourselves, by now.
Quite possibly, yeah. Yeah, please, as you said earlier, like, share and subscribe is the phrase, isn't it?
Yeah,
but also,
it really helps when you click the like to make us look like people watch and listen.
It does, and
that.
The other thing that's really helps us out and kind of pushes the algorithm up a bit is if you comment, and we'll try and comment back and we'll try and reply to you if we get the chance if possible, but also if you've got 2 seconds, leave us a nice review and say nice things about us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or wherever you listen or watch, or YouTube.
We do really appreciate when people do that.
Yeah, we really do, because we've got some cool things coming up. We've got some awesome guests coming, haven't we?
We haven't even talked about the guests coming up. Oh my god!
I know. I've been busy this week booking in people. Got some exciting.
1, 2. Probably, maybe.
That's fair.
I'm trying.
From our meeting in Birmingham, we had a wish list of people that we might bring on, and out of that wish list, I think on my side, I've managed to get all of them so far, which is nice.
We had a list.
Yeah, we had a list when we sat in the pub in Birmingham.
I believe you. I'm just finding it so that I can remind myself who I should have contacted and didn't.
Yeah. Shall we tell people who we've got coming up, or shall we hint?
No,
we've got a TV celebrity. We've got a very well-known TV celebrity who's going to come on and talk to us in 3 weeks' time. She's awesome. We've got the head of an asylum charity coming on, who's also awesome. We've got a singer from a punk band who is well known to the far right, and Alison Pearson specifically coming on.
Yeah, he's very familiar with the press, isn't he?
Very familiar with the press, particularly the Telegraph. Yeah, and hopefully, as I mentioned earlier, Peter McCormack, we were just trying to work out dates between us, and he's definitely said he's up for it. So that'll be really...
I think that could be really productive. Yeah, really productive.
It will. I think it will. I think being able to talk across the party divide is so vital at the moment. And Peter agrees with that because that's what we've talked about on messaging and stuff. So, yeah, that'll be an awesome one as well.
We've got everybody's friend Gary Gilligan's coming next week to talk to us about being a parent to autistic children.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
That'll be fun. Because, and in fact, just to finish off, the toxic behaviours we've been talking about today, right, actually and genuinely drive manufactured autisms in otherwise healthy, normal people, which is what I suffer from. I have several autisms. Well, many. Never actually documented them. That I wasn't born with. But in order to be able to communicate with human beings growing up the way I did, I had to become very analytical about my behaviour.
Okay.
And nobody tells you growing up that you're a bit fucking weird. Well, I mean, they do tell you you're a bit fucking weird, but they don't tell you why or what, what's going on. So you spend the rest of your life going, what's wrong with me? Until eventually you find out.
Figure it out, yeah.
So, it's very, very cruel what some people do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Gary's the editor of Northeast Bylines, is that right? Northwest Bylines.
Oh, God, I'm trying to remember where I want to say Gary lives.
Don't dox him.
No, you see, I'm making it up. I've got a hunch. I talk to the man every day.
Central Bylines.
I don't know why. I want to say, do you know what? He lives down south, doesn't he? But for some reason in my head, he lives in Yorkshire. And I don't know why.
So I had him west or east, but actually Gary Gilligan's the editor of Central Bylines. And he's coming on, next week to talk about,
it's fabulous.
lots of stuff, including autism in children, which is going to be really fascinating to talk about, because we had a request from a listener to talk about that subject, and we've found someone who's an expert, I think, in the field, and he's going to come on and chat about it. So that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've got loads coming up.
Person. We've also got Chantel, who's going to come and talk to us. She's Trans Penny on Twitter. She's going to come talk to us about trans issues ongoing.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, she's awesome on Twitter. I'm looking forward to having a chat.
Also party to the insanity, and it's not something Don and I can discuss on our own for obvious reasons.
Definitely.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, so all that being said, we've got some very cool stuff coming up. I said to Sal before the pod, like when we first started, we were sort of wondering about getting people to send videos in and just sort of wondering where we're going. And then last week I was texting someone off the telly, getting a date booked in for her.
You.
I know. So we've gone quite far quite quickly, and it's fantastic. So we really appreciate all the support that we're getting. And
absolutely.
I think we're doing good stuff. I think we're helping people. Yeah. I think we're helping politics move slightly forward if we can.
Well, I just hope anyone that feels like me I make them feel a little bit more sane, because I think what we're collectively struggling from is trying to stay sane in an increasingly genuinely insane world. So give yourselves a break, because there is no precedent for this. It is mental.
Definitely. And on that bombshell.
Indeed. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hit like.
Yep. We'll get this out tomorrow, being Saturday. So, apologies for being a day late, but hopefully you don't mind.
Always a day late and $1 short.
Yeah. Let's not say that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, cool. Everyone have a brilliant weekend. We'll
have a lovely weekend. Bye, everyone.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Adios.